My dad, Mr. Melvin Combs, died when I was 3 years old. My mother always told me that he died in a car accident. But something about that, it just didn't feel right. Something was in my soul that was telling me otherwise. So as soon as I got here, I went to the library and I did some research. I used the microfilm and founders to search through all the newspapers. And when I typed in my father's name and the day he died, I read in the Amsterdam News that he had been murdered and a drug deal going bad. Right there in that library, I realized there's nothing greater than a mother's love and desire to protect her child. Nothing. I also decided that I would live my life in a way to make her proud. I decided to embrace the entrepreneurial spirit of my father, but in an honest way. God bless you, Melvin Combs. I could feel you right next to me. But in an honest way, in a legal way, by earning, scraping, working harder, believing in myself, and most importantly, making the most of the blessings that God blessed me with. See, I got that work ethic from my mother. My mother worked 4 jobs to take care of me and my sister Keisha. My mother worked 4 jobs to send me to Howard University. Do you know how powerful you are? Our stories may be different, but I bet some of you grew up with single mothers or fathers. Maybe you came here from Africa or the Caribbean. Maybe you were the first in your family to go to college like I was. Maybe there were times that you didn't have a place to live or enough food to eat. You will change the world. Let that sink in. You will change the world. I want you to take the craziest dream you ever had, that dream that you were too embarrassed to tell anyone about. And I want you to go after it. I want you to make it a reality. I don't want you to dream, I want you to do. So I ask you again, do you know how powerful you are? Do you know? Now, some of your dreams are going to take longer than you think. You cannot achieve success without failure. Some of my biggest successes come from some of my biggest failures. In the early 90s, when my friends were graduating from Howard, I got fired from that first job that I got with Andre Harrell. I know a lot of you know this story, but some of you may not know how scared I was. See, I was scared to death. I didn't have a degree. My girlfriend was 8.5 months pregnant with my first baby. I bought a brand new house in Scarsdale that I could not afford. So I found myself sitting alone in my bedroom and asking myself the question that sometimes we all ask each other. What are you going to do now? What are you going to do now? You should have kept your mouth shut and shut up and just did what Andre told you to do, but you wanted to act like you was making the hit rankings, and now look at you. What are you going to do now? So I had 2 choices. Either I was going to sit in that failure and give up, or I was going to make a decision to step out of the darkness. You see, when you're in that darkness, you want to sit there and wait for the light to come. When you're in that darkness, it feels uncomfortable, but you can't wait and sit in that darkness. The only way out is to step forward, to face your fears, to become your own light. I had to make a decision. I had to decide to become my own light. I had to believe in myself like never before. I had to find my inner power. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. There's gonna be a lot of times y'all about to fail. I'm still failing every day. We are all a work in progress. And one day, you'll be sitting in the dark like I was. And you're gonna be asking yourself, what am I gonna do now? Then you're gonna ask yourself again and slow it down. What am I gonna do now? But in that moment, I want you to remember the power of you. I don't want you to be the next Oprah. I don't want you to be the next Obama. I don't even want you to be the next me. I want you to be you. See, when I was growing up, I had this favorite uncle. We all have our favorite uncle. But my uncle's name was Uncle Shrimp. Now, I can't tell you why his name was Uncle Shrimp. May God rest his soul. But Uncle Shrimp told me something I've lived by my whole life, and something I want to leave you with today. He told me, don't be afraid to close your eyes and dream, but then open your eyes and see. Don't be afraid to close your eyes and dream, but then open your eyes and see. For a lot of people, the distance between their dreams and their reality is intimidating, and they get stuck. They get paralyzed, just like I was in that marathon. And the only way forward is to be real about what it's going to take for you to achieve those dreams. You have to be honest with yourself. You have to tell yourself the truth. You have to tell yourself the truth of what it's going to take for you to be successful. It doesn't come easy. You're going to have to go out there and get it. Nobody's going to give you nothing. There's no rescue team coming, no National Guard, no aid coming, nothing. You're going to have to go out there and get it. And the only way forward is to decide you want that dream. The only way forward is to decide that you want that dream so bad that you are going to work harder, you're going to get up earlier, you're going to stay later, you're going to push past the people who doubted you and laughed at you and hated on you. I want you to be fearless. I want you to be decisive. I want you to make a decision right now that when you fail and you fall to your knees, I want you to remember the power of you, and I want you to get back up on your feet. Make a decision today that when you're in the darkness, you'll remember the power of you. You are your own light. I want you to remember 3 things. Number 1, I want you to never be afraid to make a decision. Be decisive. Don't be afraid to fail. Be fearless. Number 2, I want you to remember the power of you. You got to feel that power. You got to believe in that power. You have that power, trust me. And last but not least, number 3, y'all know my motto. Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop.